know when I was in Mexico, some people were asking me like, "Oh, are you good in bed?" You know what I mean?
Because you're black.
Yeah.
The stereotype.
Yeah. And I can't even imagine how many times I was asked the same questions, both with women and men. And I think I can tell you. So this is so. The first time I dated a white girl, white woman, for me it was like fun. I would say funny. It was something. I feel like I can't explain because I felt like I was in a different kind of status. And this is something that has been conditioned in our minds, mostly towards black people. We feel like, mostly if you date a lighter race, you feel like I'm doing better than the OGs on the streets, you know what I mean? Because every time this girl used to walk with me, my friends would be like, hey.
Yeah. So, since you're saying that experience, I dated a Serbian guy, and for him that was the experience because they're like, oh, you have a black girlfriend. And when I went to Serbia, like they'll high five him and all these things. So he liked me and all that stuff. We went out a couple of times, and then after some time I kind of started getting weirded out. I felt like it was a fetish type of thing.
Was it fetish on your side or
no, his side, not me?
Do you want to say that? So but listen, the way you've explained this, you can say, oh, he has a British accent with an Asian face. Are you sure?
But that's different, though. That's not a race thing.
But I know it was your first time.
Accent thing.
It was your first time dating an Asian, right?
There was one time, a family was walking down, and then the parent was like, "Oh, come over here! Like, get away from the black person." I had when I got to Taiwan, I just felt like, I've had that experience a couple of times with like a different race, but dating in Taiwan was very interesting. I'd never dated an Asian person before, so it was. So
wait.
I did date a Taiwanese guy for just a short amount of time.
How long?
I think maybe like 2 months or something. We were dating other people.
Would you be okay with dating someone who has 5 girlfriends and is not ready to be exclusive with you?
We were still getting to know each other. I was okay with that. But when he had the conversation,
there's this language. I'm gonna challenge you.
Yes,
I'm a very intelligent man.
Go ahead.
So in America, if you're dating, because I know in Africa, if you're dating, that means
you're getting to
no treasure, no sex involved, no kissing. It's like, or maybe you might kiss, but no. But in the US, you can date. You can even not even date. You can even talk.
Okay.
And have sex.
Yeah, so, like talking stage.
That's
what
talking. Talking while having sex.
So I think I get where you're going. But finish your question.
So this dude had 5 girls, right? So will you have talked to him while having sex if he was not exclusive?
So.
Hey guys, welcome again to another episode. This is Blazy. Yo, listen. The queen is in the house. The queen of Nigeria. Listen, the queen of Africa. The queen of the planet. How can I even describe you?
Hi everybody, my name is Orisha Sholaimi Dorsu. I go by Sholaya for short. At work I go by Yemi. My name means God favors me or God has done me a favor. I'm from the Ishakiri tribe of Nigeria, from Delta State. Warri is, so my mom is from Warri South, Ugwangwe, and then my dad is from Warri North, Jakba village. So yeah, that's me.
Anyway, but just before we jump into the podcast itself, I want to say that if this is your first time watching this video or watching my videos, please do me a favor, click subscribe button so we can grow together. And if you're one of the frequent viewers, like the video, send us a comment or send us any question that you have so we can even make future experiences better. Straight into it. My dear, welcome to the house.
Hi,
you made it.
I know, finally. After almost 2 hours of driving. That's cool.
Actually, America is easy, so you don't need to complain so much.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not complaining.
If you are in Abuja or Enugu.
No, Lagos, the traffic is like crazy right now. That's in December.
Yeah.
It's like 4 hours.
Also, you're used to traveling, so I feel like all these stressful things you find on the road doesn't really surprise you.
No, it doesn't bother me.
How many countries have you been to?
So as of today, I've been to 36 countries.
36 countries. And listen, you're very...
And I don't count the airport stops and all that stuff, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So just before I forget this, you're an African, and I feel like you always present your African side very, very well everywhere I see you. So you've been to 38 countries? 36 countries. How many African countries have you been to?
Not a lot. The only African countries I've been to, well, I don't count Nigeria because I was born there, but Nigeria is one of them. I've been to Ethiopia. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Rwanda and Togo.
And this is interesting. How many European countries have you visited?
I can list them.
So many. Let's say so many.
Yeah,
right?
a couple. Yeah,
and Hispanic countries?
None.
Because I'm putting you on the spot. Because I've seen you since day one. I've seen you present yourself as a pro-African lady.
I am.
Which I understand. But you've only been to like 4 countries in Africa.
Well, that's not my fault.
You need a ticket.
Yeah.
Did you pay for your transportation when you're going to European countries? Who funded your travel?
I funded everything myself.
Why can't you go to African countries?
It's expensive to go to African countries.
Listen.
For example, I wanted to go to Cape Verde?
Yeah.
And the ticket from Lagos was like $2,000. Why am I paying? It's like only a few hours. Why am I paying that much to go to Cape Verde? So.
Actually, that's interesting because I was invited to Nigeria from Kenya one time, and I was so shocked to see that flying from Nairobi to Lagos was the same as flying to Nairobi to New York.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that happens in the continent, because for me, I feel like the continent should be like states. Should be easy for people to travel back and forth. But because we Africans, we are so colonized in our minds, until we're not willing to make it easy for fellow Africans to visit themselves, because our nations have been kidnapped by these crazy morons, white nationalists who don't want to leave Africa alone. Colonizers. So please leave us alone. I'm sorry.
Because in like Europe, if you go to like from Germany to like Serbia, the tickets are like under $100.
Yeah.
And that's why I've been to a lot of European countries, because it's so cheap to go from one place. You could take a train, you can drive, you can fly, whatever. It's really, really convenient.
And also the visa
restrictions.
Like the visa restrictions. I feel
I don't have that.
Oh, you have an American passport?
Yeah.
So that's good. If you have like an African passport and you're trying to visit other African countries, I feel like sometimes they make it so hard for you. That's why, I don't know about, Nigeria is in West Africa, right? So you guys are under West African Federation.
ECOWAS, yes.
ECOWAS. East Africa, I think we're one of the best, if I say in Africa, because East African countries, literally you can walk straight into another country as long as you just have your passport that shows you have
the African
East
country.
African passport. It's so easy. But as soon as you leave East Africa to go to other countries, you're treated like you're going to a European country or
another continent.
Yeah, unfortunately. And the reason why actually I invited her here is I've known her for more than close to 2 years now, if I'm not wrong. And the first time I met her, she showed me a very interesting photo. I'll show you guys. And this picture, you took this picture in China, right?
Taiwan.
So I'm sorry. Hey, I'm learning. I haven't traveled as much.
The Chinese feel like Taiwanese they're Chinese.
And on this picture, this beautiful lady was seated on the train, and there's a Taiwanese guy who was looking straight at you. And you said, I read your caption which said this guy was looking at you for like 15 minutes.
The entire train ride. As soon as he sat down, he just stared at me the whole time.
Why do you think that happened?
Well, for one, there's not a lot of black people in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So maybe a lot of people were saying that maybe like it's his first time seeing one like up close.
Okay.
And maybe he's just not exposed because he was like much older. So he's a grandpa.
That's
so right. There might be a lot of reasons. And then I think he kept staring at me because like after the first time I noticed him, if you can see, I'm holding my phone and my friend is actively taking photos of me. And so I noticed he was staring at me because she sent me my photo to my phone. So then I looked up and he just like did not flinch. He didn't look away. He just maintained eye contact with me. And then I said, "Ni hao." And he goes, "Oh."
He was shocked to hear you.
Just saying "ni hao" is not that complicated. And then I said, "How are you?" And then I was like, "What's your name?" And then I said, "Happy New Year" in Chinese. And he's just just
That's
stunned. And like it took him some time for him to respond back to me. And he's just like, "Wait, like how are you speaking Chinese or something?" And I'm like, "We came here to study Chinese."
And this is very shocking because I was in Mexico, and when I was in Mexico to me feels like a more modernized country in terms of like people being exposed to other races. And I was in Puerto Vallarta, which is more touristic destination. And I'm telling you, people are following me on the street. They're just wanting a picture, or people are social. So how does it feel? Now to another question. I know you've been to many European countries, and you'll always have these experiences you encounter while you travel. What kind of positive things do you feel like you've learned while traveling as a black woman? Also the negative. Let's start with the positive stuff. What do you think you find positive when people look at you or try to know who you are because you're black?
So most of my travels have been solo, because I don't have time to wait for people. And then people always say they want to travel with me, but then I'm like, okay, I'm going on this time. Be like, I don't have time for to get off work, or like, it's expensive or something. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna wait.
That's right.
Let me just go. And whenever you feel like you can come on the trip, you come on the trip. So I have a few people that have done that. And one of them actually ended in a relationship, but we'll talk about that another time. But
wait. Okay.
But positives. So I would say a lot of the times I've been treated very with kindness. And as a female, I got, I would say, favors because I was a female or something. And then I'm a very friendly person too, and I smile a lot, I laugh a lot, so a lot of the times people are drawn to me naturally. So I won't say I had any negative experiences. The only thing I would say is I don't know, the only time I say I've had a negative experience was one country, and I'm on the train and I could hear the person being negative, and speaking their language, but they didn't know that I spoke their language. And I don't want to expose what country because I don't want them to come for me. But
I think you can tell me after we finish.
Yeah, for sure. But so I'm listening to them, and then after they said a few things, I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I understood everything you said, but I said it in their language, and then they were just like, holy cow.
Wow, now I'm quite interested in knowing what language is that. But this is what I'm thinking. I think I've had the same experience as you, because I'm very friendly to everybody I meet. I don't care who they are. And it gives them a very limited opportunity to be negative.
Yeah, exactly.
Me. You know
exactly. I mean? That's literally what I feel too. I know, for example, when I was in Taiwan, when COVID just broke out, because I was there from 2018 to 2020. When COVID just, started, there were news and for example, in China, black people are experiencing racism, or is it xenophobia or something? Yeah. And I just felt I was like, oh yeah, Taiwan's really chill. I never, no one's ever treated me different. I mean, I get treated differently, obviously, because I'm a foreigner, but it's more curiosity or sometimes ignorance, but nothing crazy. But there was one time a family was walking down, and then the parent was like, oh, come over here, get away from the black person. And I was just like, okay. And that was the first time I experienced something like that, so I was a little bit shocked. And I was like, oh, whoa, it happened to me. I see it all the time in videos and stuff, but it's never happened to me. So
it's quite interesting. Anyway, but I've also seen some few derogatory comments kind of sent towards my way when I travel. But I think because they are the ones who have a problem, not me, and they're ignorant. Because I know when I was in Mexico, some people are asking me oh, are you good in bed? You know what I mean?
Because you're black. The stereotype.
And I can't even imagine how many times I was asked the same questions, both with women and men. And it's just so funny, because this is something that many people talk about, that all black people on the planet have whatever I won't say in the camera. Anyway.
But speaking of that, I had when I got to Taiwan, I just felt I've had that experience a couple of times with a different race, but dating in Taiwan was very interesting. I'd never dated an Asian person before, so it was.
So wait.
I did date a Taiwanese guy for just a short amount of time.
How long?
I think maybe 2 months or something.
Please, can you tell me more about dating this Taiwanese guy? Because
I felt like he was not very Taiwanese, because he went to school in England. For college, so he's just he had this really sexy British accent, but then with an Asian face. So I was just oh my gosh, it was just really cute and hot. And he was a I forgot what the martial arts sports is, but he was a like teacher.
Okay.
Like he was kind of like my age, but he taught like undergrad as well, because like I'm 32. So anyway, yeah, he liked me and all that stuff. We went out a couple of times, and then after some time I kind of started getting weirded out. I felt like it was a fetish type of thing.
Was it fetish on your side or
no, his side, not me.
do you want to say that? So but listen, the way you've explained this, you can say, oh, he has a British accent with an Asian face. Are you sure?
But that's different, though. It's not a race thing.
But I know it was your first
accent thing.
It was your first time dating an Asian, right?
It was.
So you'll tell me that at any point in your mind, it never crossed that this guy is Asian, and I think I love that I have an Asian guy.
No.
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 Oh, interesting.
I was just like, oh,
you're
like,
a chosen one.
I think it was more like, oh, I've never dated this race before. It like I don't want to say it was on my bucket list, but it was just more like, oh, like, I'm in their country.
Yeah.
And literally the people that look like me are very limited. And if I was to date one person, I'm basically dating the whole friend circle.
True.
But at the same time, when I first got to Taiwan, there weren't a lot of black, like I think after 2-3 months, besides this girl named Catherine, after 2-3 months, I didn't see any black people. And then, like, in my neighborhood, there were no black people at all. And then when I was, like, at a park with one of my friends, Jeremy, we went to high school. Well, we didn't go to high school together, but we had the same Chinese teacher in our high school, because she would teach at our school in the morning and then teach at his school in the afternoon. And so we became friends on our trip to China one summer, like in 2009. Yeah, so Jeremy and I and like a few other friends were at the park, and I see a black person just walking, and I was just like, oh my God, it's a black person. And I said hi to her, and she just thought I was weird because like...
Yeah, I know.
And then I think like a couple of months later, I met her at a party.
Again?
Yeah, and I didn't remember her.
Yeah.
But she remembered me. She's like, oh, you're the weird girl that was said hi to me in the park. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I was just really excited. I had not seen a black person in like months. So
I think I can tell you. So this is the first time I dated a white girl, one woman. For me, it was like fun. I would say funny. It was something. I feel like I can't explain because I felt like I was in a different kind of status. And this is something that has been conditioned in our minds, mostly towards black people. We feel like, mostly if you date a lighter race, you feel like I'm doing better than the OGs on the streets. You know what I mean? Because every time this girl used to walk with me, my friends would be like, hey.
Yeah. So, since you're saying that experience, I dated a Serbian guy.
Yeah.
And for him, that was the experience because they're like, oh, you have a black girlfriend. And when I went to Serbia, like, they'll high five him and all these things and like speak Serbian, like, and he was teaching me Serbian. So I know like basic, like, how are you? Hello, like, zdravo, kako si,
let's help these guys. Hey, we want to help you out. Just fairly. So I've seen many black people. They're called passport bros. Listen, I know there's also passport women.
Cis or something
passport
like cis, yeah.
When you go to these countries to interact with these women from, let's say, Hispanic countries or Latin countries, it's because they don't see many black people there. That's why they're giving you attention. But at the end of the day, relationship will always be a relationship.
Yeah.
So when someone meets you the first time, they have this vital sensation of like, oh my God, what is that? And then as soon as you guys start building yourself, then they'll stop looking at you as black. They're looking as a human being.
A person,
and you have to give them whatever any other human being can give.
Exactly.
So, hey, be very careful. Yeah, quite.
Yeah, but when I first moved to Taiwan, it was actually, I went to Taiwan. The story behind me going to Taiwan, I went to go visit my friend in China. Her name's Kristen. And then my friend Jeremy found out I was in Asia, and he was like, oh, you have to come visit me or something like that. I don't know if he initiated, but basically I was like, hey, I'll come, whatever. I was there for like 4 days.
That's right.
And I applied he was like, oh, you should apply to our school, whatever, do the language program. And I applied, but I did it as a joke because I was like, oh, I'm not really going to move to Taiwan or something. And so I was, when I came back, I don't know, I was cleaning up my like junk folder or something like that, and then I saw an email from the school saying that I got accepted in the program and like this and that. These are the steps. You need to go get a visa, this and this. And then I was just like, oh, you know what? Maybe I want to move over there. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I took it serious. I went to go apply for a student visa. And ideally, if you're American, you don't need a visa to go to Taiwan. Yeah. But because I was going to be there for more than 90 days,
so you have to get
I had to get a visa. Yeah. So I got the visa, and I told my mom I was going. She didn't take me seriously until I was actually like the week of. And I was like, yeah, you know, I've packed up my stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I left from New York because the flights from DC were like $400 more expensive. So I bought a bus ticket for $25
to New York.
Went to New York and then got on the flight there. Because I'm like, New York was only 4 hours from Maryland. So, but yeah, so I ended up coming to Taiwan, and then my first week I met this French guy. I think he was taking classes at my school as well.
You're in big trouble.
We talked to him.
Can I have some of your water?
Yeah,
because now I was talking about a Taiwanese guy. Now it's a French guy.
Yeah, it started with the French guy initially.
The French guy, okay.
His name was... Why am I name dropping all these people? Anyway,
French guy.
Don't search all the people on my friend list. They're all there. But
French guy.
Yeah, so we okay, I won't say we dated.
That's right.
I don't know if you counted, but anyway, we hung out a couple of times, went to different places and all that stuff. And I just like, I don't know, like the thing is, if I don't like want to be with you, or if I'm not like ready to be in a relationship, if you're like contact me too much, it's like I get annoyed.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I don't want the attention. But if I'm like interested, I'm like, we're dating, I want your attention because I'm dating you and stuff, or you're my boyfriend or something. So yeah.
There's something I want to drop into your table. And I've been thinking about it in the last few comments you've made. You're a very intelligent black woman. Or you're a very intelligent woman. I can tell. And I kind of realized it even the first time we met. How does it feel? You live in the US right now. How does it feel to date or to have a relationship as a black woman who's very self-spoken, who is like quite intelligent, who's like, I know you got your stuff in check.
Yeah.
So I know you're that kind of woman who won't be like, I'm going to submit to a man. I don't know if that's who you are, but I'm just, how does it feel to date for you here in the US? I know Nigeria is easy, so we won't go to Nigeria. Let's start here. In America.
In Nigeria, I got a lot of attention, but I was in a relationship at the time, so I didn't entertain those advances and stuff. I became friends with some people, but it's like, everyone knew like, I'm in a relationship, so like there's no green lights to pursue anything.
Is it hard for you to
date
in the US?
I don't know. Like I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's just like an individual thing. Right now, I feel like I'm the, like right now in this very moment, like since I got out of my last relationship, I'm the problem. Like I'm not ready to date again.
Okay, can I write to know? You said you're the problem, right?
Right now.
Okay, good for now.
But before. But I mean, dating, I don't feel like it's that hard. I don't know if I had the same experience as everybody else, but it's just like, you know, I feel like I have pretty good relationships for the most part. And then sometimes like there's one guy that I dated. He's Nigerian. Yeah. And like, you know, we're all from the same area.
Yeah, I won't say his name.
It's not.
Okay.
The guy I dated before him. So many guys.
There's been.
It's not that many.
Okay. So
anyway, so it's not that many. But the guy before them, he was like dating 5 different girls.
Oh yeah.
At the same time, and then when I found out, I was a little bit
I'm sorry.
Crazy. Yeah. Anyway, so I kind of like, you know, basically everyone found out about each other. And it was like a big mess or whatever. And everyone's like, oh, Shalaya, you're too dramatic. And I'm like, I'm not dramatic. Like, first of all, we're dating each other. You're the one that came to me and said, oh, I want to start dating with intentions. I want to be exclusive with you. Why did you do that if you knew you were not ready to do that?
And listen, if he was to tell you he didn't want to be exclusive with you, would you be okay with that?
We weren't exclusive before we had the conversation. Like we were dating other people.
Would you be okay with dating someone who has 5 girlfriends and is not ready to be exclusive with you?
We were still getting to know each other. I was okay with that. But when he had the conversation,
there's this language. I'm gonna challenge you.
Yes,
I'm a very intelligent man.
Go ahead.
So in America, if you're dating. because I know in Africa, if you're dating, that means
You're getting to
no treasure, no sex involved, no kissing. It's like, or maybe you might kiss, but no. So, but in the US, you can date. You can even not even date. You can even talk.
Okay.
And have sex.
Yeah,
So-
like talking stage.
That's
or
what I'm
whatever.
talking. Talking while having sex.
Yeah.
So,
I think I get where you're going.
that's
Like,
what-
finish
so,
your sentence.
So this dude had 5 girls, right? So will you date? Will you have talked to him while having sex if he was not exclusive?
So, when that was occurring,
Okay.
I did not know about them.
Oh,
If
damn.
I knew about them,
Okay. Oh yeah. That's
I probably would not
Yeah.
be in
For sure.
a situation with him, because I'm like the type of person I like to be like informed. Like,
Yeah.
let me know what's up so that I can make my decision. Like, because you never know. I might be like poly or something.
That's right.
And be okay with
Yeah.
dating you, but I personally would not have.
Yeah. There's the sense of jealousy for sure that can kick in at some point.
It's
if you're
not even the
poly.
jealousy part. It's more like you kind of like, we got into this thing without me knowing the whole fact.
Yeah.
of,
You
like,
feel like
matter.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it.
So it's like, I feel like I don't want to say deceived or whatever, then I
Yeah.
sound very naive, but it's just like, like you weren't upfront with what was up. And then it's like, we had the conversations about the females,
Yeah.
because I asked questions like, oh, who's this person to you, and all those type of things. And you tell me, oh, this is just like my mom's friend's daughter,
Yeah.
or this is a family friend. Basically made up stories.
Yeah.
And I found out that he was basically doing the same thing to all of us.
So are you the one who told all other girls?
One, I had a conversation with one.
And how
yeah.
did the other 3 know?
I don't remember. So funny enough, everyone kind of knew each other. So he would like, whenever he came to my house, he would cook and all that stuff and bring food over. But then once in a while, I'll make stuff or whatever, and he would like post a picture of me and like the food and all that stuff. He's like, oh, thank you for food, Chef Shalaya or something, or this and this.
Yeah.
And then like for Christmas, he took me shopping and took photos of me holding all the bags, and then posted it on his status. To everybody else, it was like, oh, just friendly. And you won't really know, because the way he'll caption the photo or whatever, it's like, oh, that's so
Just a
cute.
friend,
But to other people, it's like, oh, it could mean like, oh, this is just someone.
Wow.
And he told them like,
Intelligent.
oh, I took her, she came with me to go shopping to help shop for my mom and my aunt. And I'm like,
Do you think this dude was trying to figure out of these 5 women?
yes,
which
who he
one
wants
is-
to be with.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
and
at
you
the
kind
end
of
of the
bailed
day.
out so quick.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's pretty much what he was like. I had a conversation with his sister, all that stuff. She was mad at me. She was like, why would you talk to his girlfriends? And I'm just like, you're a female. Like,
wow.
what the heck? But he got married last weekend, actually, to one of the girls that actually didn't know anything about everybody. So,
Hello.
so I was like, I told him, I said that. Okay, I didn't tell him, but in my head, I'm like, you should be thankful, because we helped you narrow it down.
Now he kind of found who he wanted from the 5 women.
Because everyone kind of stopped talking to him.
Listen, man, did you hear that? She said if you might have date 5 or 10 women before you find the right one, just make sure they don't find out.
Yeah, don't be messy.
But that's not from me. That's from energy
Someone else, yeah.
But let me come back to you now.
Me, yes,
You.
me.
You said you're the problem now. Why would you
Because
say
I'm not receiving the attention. I don't want the attention right now.
So what do you want?
I just want to just work and like get my stuff together right now. And I just feel like I just moved out of Ohio.
Yeah.
And I haven't decided where next I want to go live. So I can't start dating anybody
Oh, yeah, that's
or
true.
anything like that,
Yeah.
because first of all, I don't know if I'm going to be in Maryland,
That's true.
Ohio, Chicago, Nigeria, some random country.
That's right.
I throw a darts on the map to be like,
Yeah.
okay, so it's like I don't want to welcome anything, because
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet
Yeah.
of what's going on. So
Yeah.
so
one thing I like about you is I can tell you this for sure, that everywhere you will go, you'll just show radiance and intelligence. And for a woman, actually, because don't worry about that. That's the producer. He's back there making sure that things are running.
sounds,
well.
yeah.
He's our sound technician.
Yes.
But I'm just saying that every time I get into your presence, I can tell that wherever you go, whatever you will do, it will just be perfect. And that's something that I don't see in so many people.
I won't say perfect though. Nobody's perfect.
But just the way you express yourself, I feel like you're the kind of guy who will give a man a challenge. Like, why do you think you're good enough for me to be your girlfriend? many people settle. I don't think you're that
No,
kind of a
I'm
person.
not gonna settle.
That's what-
That's why my grandma's like harassing me right now. Like, when are you getting married? When are you gonna have kids? But it's not like I'm like not dating or giving people chances. It's just like I was engaged at some point. I didn't.
Can I have
marry him.
another glass of water, please? Thank you.
Break?
Okay. Now let's go back. Boom. How old are you when you got engaged?
I was 24. No, I was 23.
23.
Yeah, and he was much older than me.
How old was he? You don't need to say the camera. You can tell me later, but if you want to say, that's fine. How old, like 10 years older?
More.
20?
Less.
15?
In the middle, somewhere
Okay,
there.
that's good. I feel like for men...
I was like 20-something and he was like 40.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, this guy was...
I didn't know his age at first, which was strange because me, from the beginning... I'm the type of person like, what's your name? When's your birthday? This. I have like a list of questions. Not that I have it written down, but it's just like from conversation. And for some reason, I did not ask him how old he was.
Oh.
It was like, I met him like September of that year. And then his birthday is November.
Yeah.
And so I was in California in November for his birthday. And then I found out that his age. And then I was like, there's no way you're this age because you look so much younger.
Wow. He was like working out and...
Yeah. Oh my God. He's sexy. But yeah, he's probably going to see this, but he looked good. He looked amazing.
At 40. So this guy, so you met him. How long did it take him to propose to you?
So we met in September.
Yeah.
He proposed in February.
I think he was going through his midlife crisis. he really... I'm sorry if you're watching.
No, he was ready. He was ready to settle down. He wanted to like have a wife and all that stuff.
And you're 23 at that
Yeah,
time.
I felt like I was too young.
Yeah. I don't think... For me, I feel 23 is good enough, but at the same time, might not be good enough.
No.
It depends.
We had like two completely like lifestyles. Like I won't lie, he was my like most fun relationship.
Yeah.
And we traveled a lot. He's the one that kind of like started that travel bug in me.
That's cool, yeah.
But it was like when it came down to like the day he proposed to me, I was drunk. I was not even aware. I mean, I was aware, but like not really.
The next day,
the next day I woke up and then like scratched my forehead with the ring. I didn't realize it. And then I'm like, okay, like what happened yesterday?
You got engaged.
And then he came and then showed me the video.
It sounds like a hangover movie for me. You know those movies?
Bruh.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, we need to talk. Like I was like, okay, I'm not sure if this is what I want. Like it's too early.
Was he
like,
Nigerian?
No. So he's mixed. He was his mom is Japanese and black, and then his dad is
You're trouble. Taiwanese, French guy, Serbian, Nigerian,
and then the mixed
black and stuff. And then there's guys who've been talking. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
I think we'll have to. No. I'm joking. Cut that out.
She's very intelligent. I'll take that on. But you know, I'm just saying that everything that you've told me today, it's just quite interesting to imagine. And when I look at you, you seem so happy because I think this is mostly connected to the African culture, because Africans, when we go through like episodes in life, we don't look at it as a failure, we look at it as a stepping stone.
Yeah, like, oh, next time this is going to be better.
So you were born and raised in the US or Nigeria?
I was born in Nigeria.
How old were you when you came to the
12.
States?
I came September 25th, 2004.
You see,
so
and
20 years now.
You really portray a very strong attitude of an African. Where else can we get this kind of information except from this lady? That's how magical she is. We're getting close to our end.
And yes.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the podcast. And I want to say that this is legendary, for sure. But before I finish, I also want to give credits to everybody who's trying to bring people together. As you see all these topics we talk about here.
Right.
We have so many white folks who have died trying to fight for justice. We have people who have done so much. We have black people who have stood in a way to make sure that white people also get respected, because I know it's all vice versa. And it has to be everybody on the planet, and we can make this place a better place for us, our kids, and our grandkids, and the future generations. Hey,
whenever I decide to have kids,
you must have kids. I'm an African brother, so
I get pressured by that.
You need to find someone who can make you pregnant.
Yes, get her pregnant. We need her child. We need her
That's
offspring.
right. Anyway, guys, it was
Don't
nice.
find compatibility.
It was nice spending time with you. Yeah, until next time,
Yes.
please don't forget to click
And call
subscribe.
me Sengwa.
Sengwa. If you want me to...
That means
if you-
beautiful in
If you want to
Ishikiri.
connect with her, send me a message. She's
Yes.
single and she looks fly
I'll be ready to date in 3 months.
in 3 months.
Yeah.
So right now, in the next 3 months, you guys can
That's
go and
probably
work
when you
out. Go to
post
the
the
gym.
Why 3 months?
I don't know. I'll be back in America by then.
Why? Where are you going now?
I'm going to Nigeria.
All right, guys. Until next time, peace.